2023 has been an excellent year for anime. Absolutely peak stuff has come out. Vinland Saga Season 2, Apothecary Diaries. I know that's not a really big pick for a lot of people, but it was amazing for me. We got Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man. I know that was kind of leaking in from last year, but we got tons of stuff. And I gotta say, a lot of it was peak. But nothing has been more peak than Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen does everything right and corrects what little wrongs it had from the first season. We start off the season with a flashback, and I was skeptical that I'd even care for the characters, but within 6 episodes, I was sent through an emotional journey of hope and despair. I still remember hearing Star Plasma Vessel and thinking to myself,
what the hell is even that?
Is that like a blood transfusion for Jujutsu sorcerers? After being briefed in alongside Geto and Gojo, I felt like I was on the mission with them. A nostalgic feeling of the good old high school days. They were given the task of guarding Riko Amanai, who I didn't think I'd be a fan of because she was giving big tsundere vibes. But throughout the next several episodes, seeing how close Gojo, Geto, and Riko got, I thought, man, this is lovely. They went kayaking and to an aquarium. I'm an adult and I've never been to an aquarium. They were living their best life. But the catch was, Geto and Gojo were on super high alert. Nothing could have prepared for the next moment, where weakness and underestimating their opponent just at the finish line would end up costing them almost everything. I mean, to be honest, thinking about it now, the only time shit goes south in Jujutsu Kaisen is when Gojo lets his guard down. So whenever we kind of see that, we're going to know that shit's about to go down. The antagonist here is basically the antithesis of Gojo, a person with no special ability and a reject of his clan, Tojo Zenin. But through the sheer hatred of the system that created him and the jealousy of Gojo,
Dude, you know what's crazy? You actually get no bitches!
he became so strong that he tore down a titan. After succeeding at unaliving Riko, Toji faces Gojo one more time, but this time it's a little different because Gojo has given in to the madness. Seeing his loved ones die and get hurt can turn anyone, or even him, to a monster, so he gave in to his power, and what a power it was. It was an absolute spectacle to behold. After that, Geto was actually the one more distraught in seeing the horrors of humanity. The same humanity that he was protecting, and it just revealed itself for being super horrific. He saw one solution after being separated from his comrades in arms, specifically Gojo in this case. He thought to himself that if only Jujutsu sorcerers remain, then there would be no more humans getting hurt. And the way to do that was the Eren Yeager method. But something stuck with me from Geto and Gojo's conversation. It was poetic and artistic. These two friends, in between them a sea of people who had once been allies, are now inevitably set to face each other. One with infinite power, but powerless to act. And the other with literal demons that he's consumed. But he's the one that is actually seeking to destroy humanity, not the demons themselves. To say this is an iconic scene would kind of be putting it in low regard. I have to say that within 6 episodes, I felt like I experienced a lifetime of joy, happiness, and learned so many lessons. But that's what Jujutsu Kaisen does so well. The storytelling and pace are unmatched from anything I've seen in 2023. Not a single second or frame wasted. You can tell that Mappa was really trying to pull the most out of their animator.
I'm only calling you bitches because I don't know your names individually. Holla if you hear me now.
I'd also like to compare the 2 intro songs that we had for this season. The first 6 episodes had Where the Blue Is, and the second part had Specials. Maybe I'm drawing at straws and I'm reaching, but I feel like the art direction was kind of on purpose. I feel like the first intro, Where the Blue is hopeful, spontaneous, colorful, untainted by the bullshit of humanity and people, whereas the second one, you kind of feel like there's this overwhelming sense of darkness that's about to take over. And that the one light, I'm beginning to sound like a cult follower of Gojo, but the one light of the world has actually been captured. And now everyone is out to either destroy or take advantage or get Gojo back. And I gotta say that this has to be, again, one of the best intros, making me think, again, one of the best animes of the year. Part 2 starts off with a plot to capture Gojo. With each passing event, we get a timestamp of the current time. Now, this may seem like a minor detail, but this just lets me know the level of execution that is about to unfold is on a whole other level. This is a sign from the author that every event has been calculated and every detail has been accounted for. With the upcoming sequence of events being plotted by none other than Geto, or so we were led to believe, and all the while, I keep getting the vibe that over the next several episodes, no one really wants to smoke with Gojo. Like, they're trying to avoid conflict with him, but they know he's inevitable. They know that it's not a matter if you're going to lose, but just how much Gojo will humiliate you. His enemies, knowing that he had no flaw in battle, used his one weakness against him, his humanity. But even then, they couldn't deal with him. And the real twisting of the knife happened when his thought-to-be deceased best friend appeared just before him. In that fraction of a second, the cursed spirit who inhabited Geto's body actually captured Gojo and put him into the prison realm. And that, my friends, is excellent storytelling. With the remaining part of the season being just a race to recapture Gojo so that all of Japan, and to a further extent the whole world, could be saved. And that is so much pressure that is put on one man. From birth, Gojo knows that he has all the power to keep cursed spirits at bay. And not only that, the power to basically do whatever he wants. And what he does is just try to protect the world from itself, with all conspiring powers trying to get a piece of him and him being all the wiser. We ended off with a character who, if we've watched the movie, we obviously know, Yuta Okutsu, has actually come back into the fray and who's been deemed as the executioner of Yuji Itadori. Which, to me, I'm like, dude, if you're going to write some shit, you're going to write it like that. Like, ex-main character meets new main character. Like, that is actually very tastefully done. If you haven't watched the movie, obviously go watch the movie. If you haven't watched the show, obviously you wouldn't have clicked on this. But I just got to give my praises where praises are due. This shit was magnificently done. Shout out to the author, Gege Akutami. The dude is a massive genius. I would say that he's possibly the Shakespeare of our time, putting out banger after banger after banger in each episode and each chapter. And if you guys haven't already checked my channel out, I talk about anime and manga every single week. I'm going to be talking about new chapters of One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Kagurabachi, and a lot of other stuff. I also talk about anime recaps of after each season or before each season. I'm going to be doing more video type essays where I just blabber on and waffle on about some shit that I like. So if you guys are interested in that, then please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to you guys.